Hello, this is Omega. I'm responsible for energy industry, and today I want to introduce to you the solution and the products that are specially used in the energy industry. What are the special requirements? In Dahua's range of application, it covers oil and gas, power, and mining scenarios, and there are many hazardous areas where dangerous chemical is stored, and therefore production accidents happen easily. So the energy industry requires products to be safe itself in explosive zones and to monitor temperature and to ensure HSE. The presentation will be divided into these three subsections respectively. Let's start with the oil and gas industry overview. It contains extraction and production. That is the oil field. Here it is onshore and offshore. And then transportation, because oil need to be transported to different places. And then is storage and process. Here is the depots and some plant. And then to refinery. And here the crude oil will be processed into different kinds of byproducts like chemical, and others. And some of those will be transported by oil truck to gas stations for sale. And then let's look at the core product in the oil and gas industry. That is explosion-proof cameras. Well, the explosion-proof cameras, they are necessary wherever a potentially explosive atmosphere exists. Well, these places are characterized by possessing three things: air, an ignition source, and one of those following substances. And oil and gas is full of such places. So we need the special series of cameras. And there are two kinds of famous certificate for this camera. One is the IECX. This is a rather international certificate, and the other is more renowned, but is more recognized in the European Union. And Dahua has got both of them. But I want to mention another is the North American UL certificate. Dahua hasn't got UL yet. And there are different levels of explosion-proof protection. If you ever attend the training that is organized by the product line, maybe you know that. Here we have an example. This is a gas station, and we have used different color to indicate the different zones of hazardous area. Well, the most deep orange is the fuel tank storage tank, where oil is stored, because only this is the oil truck and will bring oil to be filled, and then that will be oil for cars to fill in. And here is the most deep color, is the flammable material. That's because we need these cameras. And inside is the zone 0. Well, the zone 0, our cameras cannot cover. Our cameras just don't meet the requirement. And in the oil truck is the similar. But like this area, the fuel tank, which is lighter orange, and even farther here, even lighter zone 2, these places our cameras can be used in exactly these places. It's perfectly okay. So now we have the understanding of which areas our cameras can be used. This is example for gas station, but for other areas, according to the conception of different zones, the principle is similar. Dahua camera can be used in zone 1 and zone 2, but zone 0, we do not touch it. Okay. Then let's see the explosion cameras in different scenarios in the overall oil and gas industry. Let's start with oil field. Here we need a camera to prevent intrusion and safeguard staff operations. And transportation. Here on the transportation line, there is pipeline and many compressor stations. And here we need to monitor leaks and other disruptions in these stations. Then in storage and process. Here you can see there are such big oil tanks, and it's flammable and very dangerous. The most dangerous factor here is fire, so we need to prevent intrusion and prevent fire accidents. Then in refinery, they are very big, and here just a large quantity of equipment, so we need to prevent equipment failure. Finally is the gas station. Here the most important part is the loading operations. We need to safeguard it. Okay, and the next is some examples from real project requirements, how to use these explosion-proof cameras. This is a drilling rig. So it's on the oil field. It's the upstream of the industry. Here you can see this like a tower, the rig. It has floors. The second floor requires, this is from the RFP requirement. The second floor requires one PTZ camera, and the lower floor requires one PTZ and one bullet camera. And there is a jailer room which requires a smaller bullet camera. So these are the cameras required. And you see there's a red remark here because I have to emphasize that considering the vibration, when the rig is working, there's constant vibration. So considering this, our cameras, they need extra support to normal work. So it needs to be discussed case by case, especially for the PTZ and the big bullet camera. For the smaller one, it's okay, it's safe. But for these two, it may not. It should be discussed case by case. Okay. Then on the right side is oil depot or refinery. Oil depot is the storage and process, and refinery is the next one. But it's no big difference for us. This one is in a depot in Cameroon, and we used this PTZ camera to watch the large oil tanks. And this one is installed. It's a speed dome camera in the refinery. Here we can use different types of camera: PTZ, large bullet or smaller bullet, and speed dome. But also another thing you need to pay attention is the speedo camera Dahua now has is not Dahua brand. So you have to pay attention to this because some RPF, they require the same brand from the manufacturer. Below is the gas station. So in order to watch the unloading operation, this camera is needed because in the standard of the safe standard of gas stations, inside the normal cameras absolutely are not allowed installed in such places. Only this one are allowed. Okay, then is another kind of explosion proof is the thermal explosion proof cameras. Why need those? Because you can see in these places, this is in the refinery and these are pipeline. So these places have large quantity of oil, and the temperature is an important factor for employees to tell if there is something wrong here, because thermal cameras, they can give very clear image to see where it's too hot, where it's fine. And also in these places, because they are in the range of explosion, so it also requires the camera to be safe itself. That's why we needed to have thermal explosion proof cameras, and these two models we now have, and we can see the parameters here. But also one thing you need to notice is that these two cameras, they haven't got the certificate ATX and IECX. But the certificate is under process. We just don't get it yet. It will be soon. Will be at the end of this year or next year is also possible. So, and then let's look at the product family of explosion-proof cameras. We have now the bullet, and also another bullet, and the smaller bullet, and the PTZ, and the PTZ with a shelter, and this is a variable focal length PTZ dome camera. And one thing we can notice is that not only do we have cameras, but we have accessories that has the certificates, the connector, junction box, and flexible tube. They are quite important because in many RFPs, accessories are contained in the scope. So we needed to control the bidding sometimes. And the belowing are coming soon. As I mentioned earlier, the thermal explosion-proof cameras, we have products already, only the certificate is underway. And this SD camera also, it's under planning. We have a third-party brand, but our own brand, it's under planning. And another one is 5G explosion-proof. Why do we need it? Because as we see on the previous page, there is a rig, and the rig sometimes network is not available. So it requires 5G transmission. So 5G explosion-proof is also needed. But now it's a blank space. We will push the product managers to in this part, and if you have received the requirements, you can come to us and we will have more materials for this. And then let's see the product family of our old friend, the Hikvision. How many do they have? Well, they basically have everything and something even more than us. So they have the bullet, they have smaller ones, this fixed and this 4x zoom, and they have PTZ also, and they have a fixed dome. It look like this one, and they have what we do not have is the speed dome, and the thermal cameras, they already have the certificate on their official website. So this part we need to speed up. And another application is in the gas station. Well, this is from a Middle East requirement, and it's on the POC stage. And the function is to detect vehicle flow in gas station. Why do we need it? Because the customers want to know how busy their gas station is. In order to improve their operation, if it is very busy, they can add more hands. If this one is not so busy, it's quite not so many cars. The operator can review it and to improve the operation of such gas stations. So anyway, they need to know the number of vehicles, the ground number of vehicles in the gas station, and the employment, the layout of the gas station is like this. These are fuel tanks, fuel dispensers, 2 rows. On each side of the dispenser is 2 parking spot, and like that. So one IPC74442 camera is used to cover 2 lanes. This is zone 1 and this is zone 2. So this one can cover these 2 lanes. This is in the real picture. And next on the picture below, you can see this is the detection box, and inside the number of vehicles will be displayed here. Also this data will be sent to a third-party platform or to our DSS. So next is our DSS display. For the real-time display, there will be the zone name and the number of vehicles displayed here, and there is also historical vehicle data you can export here. So we have the time, camera, and station name, and zone number, and the queue length. That is how many cars in here. So this data can be used by the client. They have their own use, and we can give them this data. Okay, then it's about the power. As we released a new solution this year, so power, this section we will have much to talk about. Let's take a look at the overall industry at first. It has 5 parts, from generation, transmission, substation, distribution to consumption. Well, although there are 5 parts here. Our solution mainly focuses on the generation, that is, different kinds of power plants and substation, where we can help to protect clients' assets and facilitates the operation and maintenance department for inspection. Well, if you are confused about this phrase, why do the power company need inspection? Because you see in the power company, there are many electrical equipment. And electrical equipment, they need to be regularly checked. In case the equipment break down and everyone is cut off from electricity, you can't imagine that, right? So power companies need to check their equipment regularly in case to prevent such incidents happen. And let's start from the solar park perimeter protection. That is how we can protect our clients' assets by perimeter protection. Why solar park? Because since the policy of carbon zero, the energy is the clean energy is thriving. So there are many more solar parks built and under construction all over the world. So we have gained a lot of experience in solar parks, and we use this as example. The solution is very easy. We use the thermal cameras on the perimeter to detect intrusion, because people will come inside to steal valuable cables and other things. And our cameras, they can guarantee a long detection distance even at night, because theft always happens at night. With our own camera and our self-developed algorithm, the detection distance can be over 200 meters. And with a third-party algorithm, it can be as long as 350 meters. And apart from the thermal camera, we used SD camera to cooperate with it, because SD camera, they can provide clear visible light image, which is necessary too. And this, we do not have special requirement, just any camera in stock is okay. And for thermal cameras, we recommend this model has dual lens, thermal one and visible one, and solution is efficient, and it can be used. And below, I have added one more little solution, that is the network transmission. Why? Because with cameras, we definitely need switches, right? So I add this as well. For the transmission part, we have these industrial switches, which is suitable for harsh environment. Well, solar park, they are harsh environment. Because you see, solar park, they are built in places where sunlight is so strong. So those switches, those chip switches, they may not tolerate the temperature and the sunlight, but our industrial design can tolerate it, can work it perfectly. And more importantly is it supports the PoE 2.0 support 250 meters transmission. Why is it important? Because we said earlier that is the distance of cameras. The distance is 250 meters. Well, the normal network transmission is only 100 meters. If we do not use the 2.1 technology, we need at least two switches between two cameras, which costs more money, more human costs and the installation costs, and clients don't like it. So our PoE 2.0 can solve this problem. So we can use this, and also support optical fiber transmission because solar park, they are very large and the distance always very long. So we usually will use optical fiber. So this has the optical module. And one thing to mention is that we have an authorized success case video from our client, which can be downloaded from GKS. This video is loved by every client, and if you need it, you can just download it. Then we will come to our main event, that is the inspection solution. Oh, well, if you attend our this year's training about this solution, I think it will be easier for you. But if not, it's also okay. Today I will introduce it from different perspective, from the product perspective. And the first one we want to present is the thermal PTZ camera. This is our main star this year. What's the features? The features is it has high precision coding PT unit, and this is special because before we don't have it, and the preset they will move after a long time of use, but after the coding unit, the preset will be more precise, and it has a white light illuminator in order to better work at night. And also the pro advantage of this one is it has 300 presets, so it can cover many points. As long as you install one, it can cover a large area, so it can save installation cost. And the work procedure is it can take temperature of different key equipment part from bus bar like this surge arrestor, contact points, capacitor, and reactor. We can watch a video here. The PTZ camera take temperature from one point to another. Here to now the temperature is displayed here. Now to the bus bar and move to next point. So it kind of replaces people of doing this inspection work, because before people need to travel to substations and take temperature one by one, but now they can sit in office and let the camera do its work. Okay. Next, and I want to emphasize another conception. This conception we introduced already, but I am not sure if you have the impression of it, so I will bring it up again. So it's the temperature difference alarm. Why is this more recommended in substation inspection? Because the temperature is affected by many factors, by weather or by others, especially after many years of use. But the difference between the 2 points, they are absolute. Can you understand it? Well, if T1 is 2 degrees higher, T2 is also 2 Celsius degrees higher, and the delta T is minus T1 minus T2, the absolute value. It's fixed, it's absolute. So actually this criteria is more accurate than the first one. And you can use this for inspection, for diagnosis if there's anything wrong with the equipment. And this is the screenshot from our platform. There are 2 alarms. One is the surface temperature T, and the other is the temperature difference. And also I want you to explain it to clients, because some of them also do not understand it. And then is another, well, it's a different scenario for the inspection solution, but also the main value is to reduce the human labor of workers in company. Here is the story. Well, before the employees, they want to inspect substations, they have to drive a car because they are very far, and they have to use a handheld terminal like from the FLIR, and to take points of equipment one by one. But now they think it's too time consuming and it's not convenient, so they want to a little bit lazy. See, they want cameras to do the work. So after using our solution, you see it's a camera is installed on the car, and there's MNVR inside the car, and there's a screen. And the thing is, they can drive a car, and when they arrive at a substation, they can use the camera to see the substation, and on the screen they can just point here, point there, and the temperature will be displayed here. And then they can copy the numbers on their notebook, or they can use mobile phones to take the picture. So now they do not have to get off while working. It's easier for them. And our clients are liking this function very much. One thing to notice is that the customized firmware is the old model, and now it's delisted, and you need to, if you need this function, you need to recustomize it on the new model. It's the same we have seen earlier. Okay. Now next we want to introduce you to different options for inspection. Not just the PTZ cameras are recommended, but also different types like these bullet cameras, the G-Lens or the 5 series. They are both recommended because our clients, they are different from different countries and have different financial, I don't know, the budget, and they have preference for different cameras. Some of them like PTZ cameras, think PTZ cameras are cheaper and they're easier to use. But some of them just like these fixed cameras, these bullet cameras. And there are also advantage for them is because one is they are cheap, but another is they do not have preset shift because they are fixed, so they don't move, right? And maximum they can have 12 temperature rules. One of our clients is just used this model, 3 such cameras in one substation, and each and every of them is drawn 12 rules and use them 4. And these are other pictures in the substation projects. You can see the cameras are installed like this. Then is the IPC, the thermal impact camera. Why do we need such a model? Because you see in the cabinet, can you imagine how we can use others? It can just use such a small tiny camera in order to take temperature inside, because you see inside here also are many electricity cables, and these different contact points need to be taken temperature. So in this scenario, only such a model is suitable, right? It needs to have large angle, wide angle, and need to be easy installation. So this one is magnet mount, very easy to install. Okay, right. And then we come to the visible light. So not only thermal cameras are useful, but visible light, they are also needed. Why? Because visible light cameras gives us clear image, right? We don't just need the temperature, but sometimes we need to read the things, and we need to see the defects, the appearance. And we recommend you this model, and this is also the star, the product of the PTZ product line. You can see actually this model is very, very small, and it has a handle back here, and a girl can lift it with a handle and can install it because it's not quite heavy. So it's portable and easy to carry and install. It also has a coding PT unit because PTZ cameras, they are the same. The precision is important for each PTZ camera, right? And it has an optical zoom. Also, it has a wide field light. It guarantees the night view. So let's see how it works. It works an inspection tool from different places. It needs to see high definition pictures. Like here, this is a casing appearance. So operator like me can sit here and watch. If this respirator, the color is correct, it's blue. Yes, it's correct. So it does not need to be changed. And here I can read the reading. But the moment is short, but we can see it's a meter. And employees, they can sit in office and record the meter remotely. They don't have to travel to the substations, right? It saves them a lot of work and the time. And the night view, let's see it.
The view light of cameras will be opened on a night inspection tool in order to capture high-definition pictures. The maintenance department can grasp the instant situation of every key point in center. The inspection history and analysis values can be reviewed to confirm the abnormal items by referring to snapshot or live video.
Okay, you see the work principle of the inspection solution, right? Okay, now let's next. Next is the IPC compact camera. It also looks odd, not regular, right? Because it's specially used for meter reading. Well, although we call it meter reading, but camera itself doesn't read. It is not AI. The meter reading is performed by IVSS. You have to keep that in mind. So this camera is needed to capture the image of different meters, watt meters. You can see here, before the workers have to record meters of this, the readings of these meters one by one and on paper like this. And it's inconvenience, time consuming. Most importantly, it's boring. So we can just have cameras to do it for us. We install such a camera in front of the meter, and the camera has a wide angle as well. Can take the picture, and then we have the picture. We can read it. We can read it by manually, and we can read it by an IVSS. It's all optional. And this camera, it has a setting mount bracket. That is this one. So it is used to hold on like a pole, and this can be adjusted. And it has a built-in warm light. It's useful. We will see the image effect in next page. And this one can be used in petrochemical plant because there are also many instrument meters to be read. And in power plant and in substation is the typical scenario. Then let's see the image of the camera. You see, it has a warm LED illumination. Well, when the illumination is turned off at night, it's total darkness. We can't see anything. But with light on, you can see it's as clear as in the day, right? And in the day, the light off, it's not quite clear. But with the light on, it's very bright, and the numbers are so clear, right? And also, it has a reflection reduction, because you know the light, when it directly reflect on the glass or like on the mirror, it will be reflection, and that will make the image impossible to see. But with the polarizer, the inside polarizer, the effect will be reduced, so the image can be clear enough as to read. Okay, then the last one in the inspection solution is the general IPC cameras, because we do not just need the special ones, but the general IPC, they are also useful in substation solution, in substation inspection solution. Well, if you want to use it for meter reading, the resolution must be at least 2 megapixel, and it's usually pole mounted at 1.6 to 1.8 meters, a little bit higher than the dashboard, like this installed here. And also we give you a reference for the lens to choose based on different installation detections. Okay, then let's go to the AI server and the software. AI server is the IVSS. We have talked that IVSS used to read meters. What kinds of meters it can read? It can read a pointer type, like this, or a thermometer, and this like a clock. You know, has this pointer and can read it. And it can read indicator, the light, if it's red, green, or yellow. And on off, that means on or off. And digital is the numbers, and the dial is 0001 1011. It's like this. So this it supports 11 types of instrument identification, but it needs customization, and we need a material, the pictures of the instrument for R&D to assess if they can be read and how much the accuracy is. Okay, so we will have an inspection report like this after using this meter identification will be the equipment name, the analysis data. This is from IDSS, and we and a picture, attach a picture, and will be an alarm. And people and operators can manually review, can double check if they are correct. Like this one is not correct, it's red, not green. He can set the status to abnormal and write down his remarks like this. Okay, and software. The software is introduced in our inspection solution. So now here I will not expand more, just to let you know the general introduction of this product. The intelligent inspection module is based on DSS Pro version 8. If client buy the license, they will see one more module is added in the main center. This is the application interface, and another is the configuration. So the module has 4 functions. Here, 4 functions. And the first 2, they are real-time inspection. What's the difference? The left one, it's point view. So if I want to view any point, I can just click here. Well, you will see what's the difference of the live view of normal DSS Pro. You see the normal DSS Pro, you may see here, it's just IPC 1, 2, 3, 4. How do you know which picture is? But when we name it with equipment, and we have equipment tree, from the first level it's transformer, and then it's the side, and then it's the panoramic. So we can have very clear name here, so clients can understand it. Okay, and this is the biggest point of our platform. And the right side is the inspection process, so it can be moved. It will be from this point to the next, and then next. And you see, this is processing. This is a line, the process of inspection. And you can stop it, you can pause it, you can start it. You can all operate on it. That is the historical inspection data. Well, they are more valuable for operators because they can't sit there and look at the computers in real time. They always process the historical data, especially the alarms. So here is the inspection records here. And for one item, one alarm, if you want to check the details, equipment name, the temperature, if there's something wrong here, you can write down the remarks and to check. And also, this is a snapshot. It can link to the live view of the channel, of the point, to check if it's still okay or it's something wrong, like this. And on the right side is a tendency line, the temperature tendency line, and export a temperature table for clients for their own use. They can analyze the data. And they can also upload in their own platform. And this is all about the power section. Then let's go to the mining. Well, mining, actually, we started just this year, but we have gained a sort of experience, and I want to share it with you. Well, mining industry, if you are familiar with it, you know the mining is a very dangerous industry. Many a lot of news you have ever seen on TV are about production accidents, right? And if ever there is an accident, the mining's license may be cancelled. So the miners, they are quite concerned about production safety, and they want to they don't want accidents to happen. And the mines, they are very big, so they need panoramic monitoring. And let's take a look at this 3D model. Also, one thing I want to point out is that, you know, mining, they have underground and the surface. But as Dahua now lacks the product used in underground, it needs intrinsic safe certificate, but our products cannot meet. So we only focus on the surface mining, like this model shows. It's on the surface, not on the ground. On the ground, we don't have products. So let's start from the open pit mining. This is where the ground such machines is doing its work. Here we protect valuable mineral and assets under mine, because you know some mine their gold, their silver, their copper, iron. These are expensive, so people might want to steal from it, right? And then it's all transferring. Ore is transferring by the conveyor belt like this, and this is a very expensive machine. So we want to ensure the stable operation of it. And then it's smelting. It's a process plant like. Here we need to monitor production process and implement HSE management. Then to living area. Because you know, mining, they are always very in the suburban area. The West Australia is a typical example. The city Perth is basically built for mining, right? So the living area is always there's always a living area on the mine. And here we need to do employee temp attendance and visitor management. And also besides this, there might be small substations. I won't repeat it here. Then the first pinpoint on the mining is because it's too dusty and camera lens get dirty easily, and then we will lose clear images. Our solution is to provide a water spray box. It's like this. So we will use this box. It has a water tank. The operator can set on the website of cameras. They can set a time, like for example, every time in the morning or every 3 in the afternoon to the device, the spray will give water through the water pipe to here to the camera lens, and the camera housing or the camera itself has a wiper so it can wipe, and then the lens becomes clear again. So the model we recommend here is the housing. Why do we recommend housing with a wiper? Because it can work with basically most of our IPC cameras inside it. Doesn't have special requirements. But also you can use cameras itself with wipers. It's also okay. And this is the water spray box. And it has a 10-liter water tank capacity. When it's short of water, it will give a warning to operators so people can fill in water in time. Next is AI analytics to protect the conveyor. Well, in order to understand the requirement, you may have to know the process on the mine. Let's see an example from an arrow mine process procedure. We'll start from the open pit mining. The large machine will first stage have crush large ore, and then it will be a first level crusher to make the ore smaller, and then to second crusher to make it smaller, and then to next level. And after this, when the ore can be made small enough, then to shipment. So during this procedure, the ore are transferred between different levels by a conveyor. Sometimes the ore are just too large to block the normal operation of the belt, and to repair it needed to close it. That will one thing to repair it is expensive. On the other hand, to close the machine, that will lose production that day, and it will be even more expensive, right? So miners, they don't want it to happen. They want our cameras to do our analytics to do it for them. So the camera is installed over the belt, and the back-end IVSS can detect large ore. Let's watch a demo video. See, this large ore will be recognized if we set a threshold to size 5. Then the larger size ore will be detected, and a warning will be sent to the center so someone can go and remove the large ore, go back to the initial stage, to the first crusher, like this. Okay. And then is improve health and safety. Well, this is not only in mining section, it can be used in every industry actually. But I only use the mining as an example. So some places like here, you see it's very harsh, and with this large truck, and inside the truck there are many blind spots. they may not see people here. So someone working here needs to wear very obvious, very bright PPE in order to be seen, to be kept safe. Okay, so we have two little solutions for the PPE detection. One is if it's a little scale, small size project, not many channels, we can use the Wismine 7 series. Usually they are installed at entrances to make sure that workers enter the workshop with their helmet or and reflective vest. Another solution is the backend AI. You can use IPSS plus general IPC. So IPC do not have to be have AI function, but IPSS can detect the someone take off the camera. Okay, we see in the video. Oh, sorry. Someone take off the camera and it can be detected and it become red. An alarm is sent to the center. That is for the supervisor to review it, and the supervisor may give punishment measurements. It can be first it's remind and then warning, or if it's serious, if several times one person is found not wearing PPE, it may record demerits will influence its KPI. Okay. There is anti-corrosion cameras. These cameras are, well, the protection level is lower than explosion-proof cameras. The certificate is called the NEMA certificate, and they are used in scenarios like this one. I give you an instance. It's in an anti-rust workshop in a mining equipment factory. Where metals, they need rust-proof treatment. You understand why, right? Because metals in air with oxygen and especially with water, they rust easily. So usually metal equipment, they need this treatment. And the treatment includes dipping into acid pool. Acid pool is like this. This is a sulfuric acid pool. Dipping into this and then washing and then dipping in a galvanized bath. Like this. This is a metal and it needs to be dipped down inside. That will make the metal not rust easily. So you know that from chemistry, sulfuric acid, they got into air easily. So here we need a special model with the hyphen SL. It has a special out shelter here. And to watch, we installed two such cameras to watch the sulfuric acid pool. And here we can use another option is the Wismine 5 or 7 series with anti-corrosion coat, because this is not severe like acid, and the height of the workshop is 12 meters high. So such with lower protection level is also can be applicable in such scenarios. So from this example, we can see the different applications of different models. Then we come to the high temperature tolerance. It's usually used in iron and steel plant. Why? Let's see this instance. It's a feeding in raw material. This process is feeding in more raw material, and inside is the molten iron. The temperature is so high. This is the feeding machine. Well, the workshop can be 70 Celsius degrees, and usually no ordinary camera cannot work all time in under such hot temperature, and also the light is too bright to form clear image. So the ordinary camera, they might overexposure, so lost all details. But with this camera, with special camera, we can get the HD video. It's used for recording when accidents happen. The department can came back and review the record they required. And the camera itself, it's HFS 8 series. It has big image sensor has warm LEDs, and it can work 20 all the time in 75 Celsius degrees and 12 hours in higher temperature. And it has resolution 4 megapixel and 8 megapixel, two models here. Okay, then the last is the long range surveillance. Well, you can see from this picture, the area is very, very large. If you install IPC voted cameras, it needs so many, and the fee can be actually higher. So here we require the large long distance surveillance. And we can use thermal cameras like this one. It can maximum cover 1 to 2 kilometers monitoring, and it can be used to prevent eternal theft, as we said earlier. And it has a wiper because it's dirty on the mine, and the durance makes it work day and night. Not only thermal camera, but also visible light. This one has a 60 times optical zoom and also has a wiper. It can protect a long perimeter and a large area. We have different models to select this one and this one. Actually, one of our clients, they bought all of those long range cameras on one of their copper mine. Not only the mine needs this, but also petrochemical plant, because it's also very large, and in the high point we can install such cameras. And hydropower plant dam is very, very long in the width, yes. And the pipeline is also very, very long. You can imagine that, right? Okay, under these scenarios, all require the long-range surveillance. The purpose is to secure sites and save workforce. Okay, I think today is quite much. So thank you for your attention. If you have questions, you can contact the product managers or us if you want to talk about the solution. So thank you today. Bye-bye.